Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This time we're using three stencils. The first one is the 2-layer moon stencil. This comes in a lot of different sizes, but I'm using the 2.5 inches on this painting. For the first layer is the whole circle, which is straight white. I'm also spraying a halo around it. And for the second layer, with transparent black, I'm misting some paint, and just like that it gives you that instant moon. This is the second stencil, and that stencil is the organic textures stencil, and on this video I'm using it to create something like water, like a river. It also appears to look like a path, so it's good to create that texture as well. But it all depends what you paint around it and the colors you put on the water. If you want it to be like water, you need to make it smoother, and you can do that by layering the stencil many times. Then the overlapping lines give it smoother texture. Then using the oak trees silhouette, I'm putting some trees in the background. Just by holding the trees and spraying white, I'm able to create those clouds as well. But as you can see, it looks unnatural. The moon is in front of the trees. So using black, I'm pushing back the moon. I'm covering where the moon is and establish where I want to place the trees, so it looks more natural. It's basically giving a distance to the painting. You see, it makes it look better now once you push back the moon. So now I can come back with the Trees stencil, and it's much easier to establish the edges. So now it looks more natural, more realistic. And using the cutouts on this stencil, I'm adding more texture to the trees, so it looks like the moonlight is coming through the trees a little bit. And here you can see the difference between these stencils. You can see the small, the medium, and the large stencil. I'm only using the medium and large stencil for this painting, but they are all there depending on what you need to paint. So using the large stencil for the oak trees, I'm placing the trees where I want them to be, and they also give me an idea how it's gonna look. And again, we have the same problem where you're not able to differentiate the background from the foreground. But just like I did on the moon, again I'm using black to cover up where the stuff on the background is, and now I can clearly define the trees on the front. It's super easy and fun to create something really quick like this, and you're not committed. If something doesn't look right, you can redo it, rework it until you get what you want to paint. Remember, I'm just using 3 stencils to create this, and I'm painting this out of imagination, just playing around with the stencils. But in many cases you might want to paint using reference pictures, so that you know the exact perspective you're trying to create, and the different elements that you're gonna see in nature. You're gonna see the bank around the tree. It might have levels, it might look like a small cliff. So working from a reference image, it allows you to do things that just by imagining you might not be able to do all the time. So now that I have prepared the foreground for the trees, just spraying white again, I'm really quickly establishing where those trees are. And on the right side, the tree is not clearly defined, so using the edges of the trees, I create where I want that edge on the tree. Just like that, the tree line is done to this point, and I'll move on into the ground, and I'm highlighting where I think the moonlight is hitting. Looks like a little wavy ground there. That's exactly what I want. And using the texture stencil, I'm adding more interest to that area. It puts a lot more detail, makes it look as if I did more work than I really did. But of course, this stencil, you want to layer it, and you want to go back and forth with white and black, so you have the right amount of contrast. For example, here I went back and dulled everything down with transparent black on top, because I want more of the interest on the water. And since it's a night scene, it also makes more sense to keep everything a little duller. And I do the same on the right side, this time working it faster. You're gonna find that the more you work using these things, these stencils, and painting something similar all the time, you're gonna see that the more you learn. Even on the same painting, you might have more trouble doing part of one painting, and then when you move to a different part, since you have more experience and you have learned something, it makes it more easier. You start seeing new things, you start creating new things. Like back there, I could see the moon coming to the trees, so I liked it, but I didn't want to leave it so strong like that, so I dull it down a little bit. And it also gives me the idea, to create some trees like that and make it even more interesting. But not on this painting, because I don't want to have the focal point over there on the edge of the painting and all the way in the back, because it looks kind of off. But it definitely is a good idea to have those shadows like that. It looks very interesting. So you can see here, I'm just painting the bank around the river, and for that I'm only using black, since I have the white texture there already. I don't want to go full black everywhere. That way it allows me to retain some of that texture, making it all the more interesting. You can see it looks really nice, and it's all done with very simple stencils. I decided to put blue candy and green candy on the grass, just to make it look, just to give it that fantasy look. It's all creative freedom up to this point. And there it is. I spray some wax and grease remover, and you can see how it would look after being clear coated. It's a perfect background for something like a wolf, maybe werewolf, something like that. So I hope you guys have liked this, and remember to leave any comments if you have any questions, any suggestions, any videos you want to see in the future. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like the video. And until next video, guys, thank you very much. Bye bye.